Welcome to an extra special episode of The Grass is Greener with me, Paul Greene. I want to share some really exciting news. I was able to get almost all of the cast in for this podcast, and I can't wait for you to see it and enjoy it. We had a live audience. We get into all kinds of directory things, actory things, producey things, and it's a ride and lots of surprises and twists and turns. So if you love movies, if you are in any way interested in making movies, there's some great insights here from a very seasoned director and some new actors, and then some seasoned actors. Marisol pops in, and Jonathan, our director, plus some producers, and even the writer. So please stick around to the end. This very special Black Friday sale over at somavedic.com. You can use my code PG20 to get 20% off. Somavedic is a very unique frequency healing device that makes your whole home feel like the Garden of Eden. It can help structure some water. It can also really balance some of the EMF and 5G stress that goes through your body every night. Have a good look at the website, Inner Science, and for a few days here you can get 20% off with my code. After that, if you're watching this after December 1st, 2021, you can use PG10 to get a 10% off over there. So that's who brought this episode forward. This movie is going to air on November 26th, 6 p.m. Eastern on Hallmark channel, so please check that out. And if you loved this, please subscribe, and you can pop on over to paulgreene.com, and there you can find my newsletter so we can stay connected, my text service, my Patreon, and all kinds of goodies over there, and some tickets to the Christmas con in New Jersey coming up in December. So lots of exciting things going on. I'm expecting a baby any day. It's a really special time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation with the cast and some of the producers of Christmas CEO. We'll catch you on the other side. Spotlight. There you are. Well, howdy, Marisol.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You have Jonathan. Anida's in the background there watching us as well. Everybody, this is our fabulous. Did that work, Oneida? Are you co-host now? Can you let people in? Yes. You missed it, Marisol. Oneida's here to hang out, and I'm like, could you help me produce this? So she's letting people in.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, we just started, and I just hit record, so I'm going to introduce real quick. My name's Paul Greene, and I am hosting The Grass is Greener with Paul Greene, which is a focus. It's from the quote, "The grass is greener where you water it," rather than "the grass is greener on the other side." And my podcast is focused on nurturing the things that you love. And all of us here, have a really big movie coming out on Friday called Christmas CEO. And Marisol is my co-star, and she's the star of this great movie. And Jonathan directed it. So we're just going to just say hi and check in where you guys. And Marisol, I know you're in the middle of a bunch of things. I have 10 minutes before you have to leave. Oh, I just saw your text. All right, let's get into it. Awesome. So Jonathan, I'll talk to you after we talk to Marisol.
Yes, please.
Wonderful. So how you doing, Marisol?
I'm doing good. I just got back from Canada. I'm in Florida at the moment. Things are good. Traveling. I get to stay now. I don't have to travel anymore. I'm very happy.
Ah, that's awesome. And did you go to Vancouver to film Riverdale already, or are you heading there soon?
No, I went there to film Vancouver already. I just got back.
You're so busy.
I'm busy.
You are. You're also, tell us about the show that you're producing and creating. Like you have a Jonathan, I'm going to bring you on in 1 second. I'm going to just remove spotlight for a moment, and then I'll bring you back on. Tell me, Marisol, what about your show? I don't know if any of the folks watching know much about it. Can you talk about it?
I can talk about it. I mean, we haven't sold it yet. We're literally in the middle of pitching, which has been fun to do on the road, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
But I have a TV show that I'm executive producing and starring in for Sony Television that is based on my life going undercover. I'm a deputized undercover agent for the world of sex trafficking, and I go undercover and I pretend to be different roles, and I catch basically the bad guys that are targeting children, trying to do very bad things to them. And
Wow.
so I play different roles. I've been doing this for about 7 years, and then it broke in the news last year, and Sony came out and said, let's make a TV show about it. And I was like, well, great, because that blends the two things that I love, acting and doing this. And so that's what we're in the middle of trying to sell right now.
I love that. And this it's the Foundation for a Slavery-Free World, right? That's your foundation?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of a nonprofit that I founded called Foundation for a Slavery-Free World. And I founded that because I started hearing things about the, childhood sex trade.
Yeah.
And the word child sex trade should never be in the same sentence ever,
Right.
let
Right.
alone have 4.4 million children caught up worldwide in it. So I founded that nonprofit, and that's one of the things that I do.
That is amazing. And a lot of the people watching helped. We raised 3,000 for your foundation last month for you.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and just about everybody here watching has contributed something. So there's
Uh,
about 16 people in the background, but we have a big community through my uh, YouTube and Facebook and Patreon, and they all are now aware of what you're doing, and they now there's and through this podcast we'll share some more information about it too. So yes, well let's hop into Christmas CEO really quickly.
happier subject.
A happier
Christmas.
Christmas. I mean, it's important. It's so important. I mean, nobody wants to talk about that, but it needs to be talked about. Um, but so I love that. I love that we got to do this movie together. And so, what was? Just tell us really quick your how you came a part of this, and what made you
It's never an interesting story. People
it's
always go, "How did you get that role?" Oh my god,
somebody sent it to me. It's not interesting.
nothing exciting. I wasn't walking down the street and someone said, "You have to be the
Right.
Christmas CEO." No, I just, I really like the idea of doing a movie that honestly my daughter can watch,
Yeah.
because she can't watch Riverdale. It came out when she was 8, and there's some
Right.
very, inappropriate things for an 8-year-old. And then I came out with a really scary horror movie, and she's not going to watch that either. And I was like, I really want to do something that she can watch. And Christmas movie makes everybody happy.
Yes.
And I got sent the script, and I really loved it. It was about toys and a toy company, and there was best friends and romance and all this fun aspects to it. And so I really was drawn to the script and was like, yes, let me do this. This is fun. And
Hmm.
so
And
sort of how it came
you had
about.
done another Hallmark movie before, right?
I had done one other Hallmark movie that starred Janelle Parrish.
Hmm.
And that was also different. I was a mom dying of leukemia. So
Yeah.
my kid didn't really want to watch that
Oh.
either. So this one, I promised her she can watch.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good, good, good. So do you have any highlights of making this picture in Ottawa?
Honestly, it was my first time ever in Ottawa, and it was really nice to shoot there. It's a very sweet community. And it was actually one of the most funnest sets that I've ever been on. I mean, I really obviously loved working with you, Paul, and Jonathan was phenomenal, and
Yeah.
Oneida. And it was really, and I said that to them, and I really mean it. It was just a really, really great group of people. And, and when you're working like 15-hour days every single day, you really want a great group of people to work with. And at the end of the day, you want to have fun. And we really did. We really had a really great time making it.
We did. We
I
did.
feel
And
like I have a jump start on Christmas too. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like because I just really feel like that. I was like, oh, I've already done Christmas. I'm
Oh yeah, it
good.
extends your whole Christmas season by like an
Exactly.
extra couple of
Exactly.
months, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Jonathan, I'm bringing you back on with us here. So yeah, I agree. Working with Jonathan was one of the highlights for me because we get the magic take, which is something I always beg for with directors. Is once you know we got it, now you just get to play and have a free take where you get to be ridiculous and do something maybe bigger or something that totally doesn't work, but at least you get to exercise that muscle a little bit. Jonathan, you was Marisol and I always connected to this, or like how did that come together that Marisol and I came onto this picture?
You guys were on this picture before I was.
Really?
I think so. I think so.
Oneida shaking her
You,
head as yes.
these things come together so fast. They develop them for a year or two. I believe this one was 2 years, Oneida. But let me first off say that all of those magic takes, almost all of them are in the movie.
Come on.
Yeah, almost all of them. You
Come
know,
on. Is
yeah,
that
because
right?
those are like the special. Those are the special moments that that the magic happens. So they're almost all in the movie. Um, you
I
know,
love that. That was and Oneida, you've been connected to this movie for years, right?
Yeah, we were working on this project since 2018. So we were developing this with the writer for a really long time. And then, obviously things were halted because of COVID. And then luckily, the project just survived throughout the years. And I think it
Yeah.
just got better, with all of the passes that we did. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was really funny because Jonathan, I had worked with before in another project, and he was so wonderful, and the cast and crew really loved him and really, really wanted to work with Jonathan again. And the stars sort of aligned schedule wise that Jonathan was available. Hallmark were already huge fans of Paul Greene and Marisol, and they wanted to pair them together. And so it was just like this wonderful coming together of all these individuals.
I love that. Now, Marisol, I saw your eyes look up as if you saw somebody in the room that asked you to go. Do you have to go? You do. Yeah, that's okay. I saw it. It's very subtle, but this is what happened. You're like, I know that look. I know that look I know that look.
When you're like, come on. I'm like, just hold on 1 second. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say before you hop off?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I have to run. First of all, let me apologize to everyone. But thank you all for coming in. I know you're all huge Paul Greene fans, as am I now. And it's so nice to meet you. And to everyone who's going to rewatch this on the podcast, thank you for taking the time to learn about my foundation and learn whatever you can. And on the lighter side of things, happy Thanksgiving and Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
And they can also they can follow you everywhere, right? But they also
Yeah.
Marisol Nichols, is that your thingy?
Yeah, if you look up, I'm actually launching a huge website. It'll be marisolnichols.com. But in the meantime, all of my social media is literally just Marisol Nichols because I got in early and I didn't have to do anything else. So
And
Marisol
they should probably watch you in the spin. What's it called? The
Spiral.
spiral spin.
Oh, if you want like a horror movie with lots of death and blood and you want to be scared,
Yeah.
please watch Spiral with me and Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson.
I love that. I might
So your
watch it.
holiday's not going well.
Right. If you're having too good of a holiday and you want to be freaked
right.
out. Yeah.
Freak
Thanks
out,
for
yeah.
stopping by, sweetheart. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I'm sorry. Thank you
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
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 Well, that's so fun. I'm glad that she was able to pop on. We have two more of our. Did Danielle get back to you, Jonathan?
Yeah. She's gonna pop on around 12:15.
Oh, great. 12:15 over in. You guys are both on the East Coast.
In Toronto time. Yeah.
That's great.
As is Oneida.
Yes,
Montreal.
yes. And I think the folks watching are kind of all over the world. We have some in Europe and as well as on the East and West Coast, kind of all over the place. Well, this movie. So Oneida, just a little bit more on you. You found how did Build-A-Bear come into this? If you guys have had it for a couple years, did it come from them first? Because this is strange. I've never had a corporation be producing other than like the network. So I mean, I know they were executive producing, which doesn't necessarily mean they have their hands in everything, but there was kind of, I met the CEO of Build-A-Bear, and she came up to me. She's like, "Did you know that this was my idea?" And I'm like, "I kind of heard of you guys, but can you tell us a little bit just about the inception of this?" And then Jonathan will crack into some of the directing stuff together.
Sure. So we had actually had a partner. I mean, it was Build-A-Bear and Hallmark were intending to do this partnership, and create movies together. And we've worked with Muse Entertainment has worked with Hallmark for many years, and so we were brought on as another producing partner, and we actually produced a movie with Build-A-Bear on Hallmark called Deliver by Christmas with Ian Bailey and Elvina August just a couple of years ago. And so that was like the very first Build-A-Bear Hallmark movie. It did really, really well. People really responded to that. And, because of that great partnership, we were able to do this second project. And this Christmas CEO was really inspired by, the story of Sharon John and the woman who started Build-A-Bear Workshop. So this is really very much her story. It's a very loose retelling, but it's definitely inspired by her journey as a female CEO of a toy company.
And did she have a character like my character that was going the other direction, or is that the loose bit?
No, that was the loose bit.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, that's too
Paul
bad.
Greene's character has evolved over many years. Originally, you were, I think, like a marketing consultant that was going to be working for her, at her company, and things have changed over time. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
I know
we've
it's
evolved.
it's always such a labor of love with these people. They come together so fast, but then there's this elephant of hard work and possibly never making the film. And there's all these stories of how it gets shelved and then it comes back. And there's we for us it's quick. And I know like we find out sometimes. I've found out in the past on a movie on Thursday and was filming on a Monday, hadn't seen the script or anything. And my friend Dan Lissing also was just doing something, and they literally called him from filming When Hope Calls to this movie, and he hadn't read the script at all, and he got literally to set, and he was reading for the first time this the script. So it happens. It
Yeah.
happens that fast. Awesome, Oneida. Well, it was really fun working with you and Muse and with Jesse, and you guys. Hallmark really loves you guys, and you guys do such a great job of quality, and that's what I've really noticed about this film, and what I've seen of it, and also the script is the quality of it and the storytelling and the you know the set design and the music, the money spent on sound and music, and I know the fans are really going to enjoy this picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do have, yeah, there is one really incredible song that we were really lucky to get that's in the very opening scene.
Yeah,
So,
tell us
yeah,
about
it's
we
it's
can.
a Michael Bublé song. He's singing Let It Snow, and he recorded it at Abbey Road Studios. And we were so fortunate to be able to use it. So this is like a brand new recording of him singing. So
Oh
I'm,
my goodness.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you
overjoyed about having
oh,
this song.
that I didn't even know about that. Well, that's exciting, but I thought you were talking about the song that Veronica sings as Emma. So when Emma or when Veronica comes in, hopefully there's no one in the waiting room. Did somebody else just try to get in, Oneida? Did you see that? I don't
Ah,
know.
I
I
didn't
don't
see.
know if I can let them in. Hang on one second. I just want to make sure there's nobody waiting in the wings. No, I think we're okay.
But we can definitely talk about Veronica's
Yeah,
song when she
we'll
comes
do it when
on
she
too.
when she comes
Yeah.
on. All right, I'm gonna bring Jonathan on, Oneida. Thank you so much. I'm gonna take off your spotlight for a moment. Well, that's really cool. Michael Bublé. Jonathan, are you responsible for that? Did you reach out to Michael on your spare time?
Yeah, yeah. He's. I was drinking a can of Buble.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's all Jesse and Anida. They were,
Wow.
which, and another movie I did with Jesse and Anida. Jesse picked the greatest song for this opening, and I was like, yeah, that's Muse at work right there. So
Wow. I love
yeah,
that.
it's really great. Just the appreciation for music, how much it elevates.
It elevates, and good sound too. I mean, I've heard it's told. It was a sound guy that said this to me, of course. But you can have great sound and okay lighting, but you can't have great lighting and bad sound. Would you
Oh
agree with
yeah,
that?
absolutely, absolutely.
Because like
You know,
the ear can trick you into quality, right? Where the eye, if you're looking at something beautiful but it sounds like crap, you're like, oh, this is a low budget kind of turd, right?
right. There's a little trick that I do if I have enough time in post production, which sometimes on these movies there isn't enough time, but where you watch the movie without sound and then odd cuts really stick out to you. And then you listen to the movie without picture and the odd sounds will stick out. So it's
Oh.
uh
Well,
so
now
it's a
what's
really great trick to do.
what's a movie you had time to do that with?
The last time I had enough time for that one was the Awakening of the Zodiac movie I did for Sony, and that was a thriller. Yeah, we had a lot of post production time for that one.
Yeah, oh, it's
So
always nice when you have time like that. Now, in the other,
mhm.
I think the other Hallmark movie that my fans will know you the best from is the Lacey chocolate one, right?
Oh yeah, Love, Romance, and Chocolate
That's right.
was a movie I did with Lacey in Belgium,
In
and
Belgium.
with all about chocolate. We had all these royal chocolatiers working, literally royal chocolatiers, working with us, and it was we were just between takes, just
Oh,
nonstop.
that. Oh, Belgium. I have a friend that lives in Brussels, and The chocolate was the death of me. Like, luckily my body agrees with chocolate. Like, I don't eat chocolate and I feel good. Like, because I think there's such a medicinal part to chocolate too. Like, if the
Sure.
balance is right, if it's not just a bunch of junk in there, right?
Oh yeah, I'm my favorite place in Brussels is Pierre Marcolini,
Okay.
and I'm going to do a movie in the UK in a couple of weeks. And the first thing I did was I'm like, there's got to be a Pierre Marcolini in London, and sure enough, there is. It's like London, Brussels, Paris, and Singapore, only places in the world where this store exists. But it's just crazy good, the best chocolate ever.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. And what other Hallmark movies would you say that you've done a good amount, right?
Yeah, I've done quite a few. You know, I did my one of my first ones was called The Very Merry Mix-Up with Alicia Witt. Uh, I think 11 years ago, 12 years ago, and it's being played nonstop this Christmas season as well.
Oh, good.
And I think it was one that I did a page one rewrite on. Um,
Can you explain what a
and
page one rewrite is? Oh, a page one rewrite? A
oh,
page one rewrite. Say that
it's
fast.
um it's when the network like the idea, they not don't necessarily like the script, or they do like the script, and it's too close to something else, or for any reason. Oh, thank you, Ruth Hill. Uh, the For some reason it needs to, just a little bit of a refresh. So I worked on it for quite some time, put my heart and soul, did all these things that I wanted to do in it, and and the actress Alicia Witt, I'd known for 20 years, um, from when I used to be an assistant director, and she was a star, and it was just another one of those great movies where it all came together. And so
Mm.
that one was like 12 years ago, and it's
Wow.
still constantly getting played. Um, so I've done a couple in Belgium. Another one was called Love Blossoms, which was about perfume, and that was Victor Webster and Chantal Van Senten. They met on that movie, and after the movie was done, they started hanging out, and they just got married like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my goodness. One of my friends just went to their wedding and they're like,
Yeah,
do you know Victor Webster? And I'm like, I know of him. I don't, he's not like my bud. And they're like, yeah, so a good friend of mine just went to their wedding. Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So that's another one of my favorites, and
And then
I did.
what's that island you just were working on that you were flexing on the whole
Oh
movie?
gosh, I can't remember what it was. It was.
What's that? What's that? We came up with this thing of weird flex. My son actually, it's a millennial speak when you like brag like Jonathan's. What's the island? Where is it?
Malta.
Malta. Everything became this one time I was working at Malta. It's almost like this one time at band camp, but it became this one time at Malta. And when you start flexing on like, I met Ryan Reynolds when he was a toddler. That's a weird flex. Like that's a like my great grandmother was a babysitter for Ronald Reagan's cousin. Like that's a flex. That's a weird flex. That my grand grandmother did not was not that. I made that up. So we also have we have Veronica in the wings here. I want to bring Veronica
Oh
on,
no.
but before I do, I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Hopefully, you guys can see it. I'm going to play the trailer to our beautiful little movie
Friday,
here.
November 26th.
We have a problem.
We've had a co-founder, Joe Sullivan.
He left the company years ago. I have to get Joe to sign off on the merger.
Under one condition, you volunteer for my toy drive jamboree.
I have a ton of work to do.
Come with me.
Come with you where? Can't believe you still have that.
Meant a lot to me. You meant a lot to me.
Christmas CEO. All new Friday, November 26th at 6.
You don't have to do.
Chris is about to get her Christmas wish,
Arlo Toys wants to merge with us.
but it may not be what she expected.
I know better than anyone how hard you've worked to get here. We made a good team.
Christmas CEO. All new Friday, November 26th at 6. Only on Hallmark.
You as a spotlight, and here we go. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
Look, you're looking stunning as ever. This was very last minute, so I'm glad that you were able to pop on. I think we have Danielle coming out right after you too. You just missed Marisol. She popped on for a moment. So Veronica, you play Emma in this movie, Christmas CEO, which comes out this Friday, the 26th, Black Friday. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience and how you got this little role?
Yeah, well,
Big role?
when I first auditioned, I honestly did not think I was going to get it because I was like, oh, I'm singing and I'm playing guitar. This is like kind of out of my league. So it was really exciting, like when I finally got the call. And especially since it's like my first movie ever being this like Hallmark movie that I get to sing, I get to play guitar, I get to act. It's like my three favorite things in the world. And it was honestly like one of the greatest experiences of my life. Well, so far, I have a lot of life to live. I'm only 13. But like this cast, this crew, like everyone was so kind, everyone was so sweet, everyone was really supportive. And honestly, it was like one of the best experiences ever.
I know. And was this your first movie like this?
Yeah, my first movie like ever.
Wow. Wow. I love that. And so you told me you were also wanting to do this play at the same time, but you had to choose at a moment, right?
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you chose to do this, and we were so lucky to have you. I think you did such a stellar job. I can't believe it's your first movie. You're such a natural and so energetic and so playful. And I have this really fun thing actually I want to show you. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen again, and then I'll bring Jonathan back on. Let me see if I can do this. I have a moment when you rapped, and maybe I'll just set this up with you. So this was your first time rapping a movie, and it's very emotional when you first get when they yell, when they say Veronica Maristrana is rapped. Here, I'm going to share my screen and just show this moment. It's very special. Hang on. Yeah, Veronica. There we go, kiddo. Good job. So those moments are always so touching. And so what was that feeling like? You're rapping your very first movie.
It was really emotional.
Yeah.
Like I got in the car to go back to base camp and I just started bawling. It wasn't like sad tears. I was really proud of myself, and I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but I was like, I did it. Like I actually did it. I actually wrapped my movie. It was like surreal almost.
Yeah,
it's a marathon.
Yeah.
It is a marathon, and you had to play guitar, and you had to learn how to, you got to singing, and like for some people, public speaking is terrifying enough, but then you throw in an instrument that you did play guitar, and then singing, and your character had to sing in front of 30 or maybe 50 extras. So what was that experience like for you to like learn the guitar and then perform for all of us?
It was definitely different. Like I had played guitar before. I'd been playing for about 3 years, but I was only a beginner and I'd only taken like a couple classes. So it was a little bit hard, but once I finally got the hang of it, I was like, okay, I got this. And then performing in front of people, I was very nervous. I was like shaking as I got onto the stage, but seeing the reaction kind of helped with nerves. I got a little bit more confident, and at the end when everyone was, clapping along and everyone's dancing, it was a nice moment. Everyone enjoying the music.
Yeah, you did really well. There's a really cool story, Oneida, about the song. I'm going to bring you on, Oneida, as well here. So tell us about the song that she did play in there's a really cool story about the music and the song. Jonathan or Oneida, either one, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, I can start. So Veronica, her character Emma, is a songwriter in the movie, and she wants to write her own original Christmas song. And so we realized we needed to find a writer.
Was it an original Christmas song?
I think so. I think it was.
We're laughing because in the script, Veronica's character says the words "or my original Christmas song" so many times that it became like a meme, like an audio meme for us.
we had to kind of cut that out a couple times. I think the network just wanted to emphasize that it was an original Christmas song. So that meant that we had to find a writer to write this original Christmas song. And we were connected through our partnership with Build-A-Bear through a writer, composer, incredibly talented guy named Damon Elliott. And, you know, we met with Damon, really great guy. I think he's worked with some incredible talent.
Yeah, Jonathan wants to share a weird flex here. Who's his aunt or who's his uncle?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Go ahead.
when we were on the call with Damon, he was saying that he had just recorded a Christmas album with his mom, and we kind of thought, oh, that's kind of funny. Is this guy's, you know, recording Christmas music with his mom? Well, it turns out that his mother is actually Dionne Warwick, and his cousin is Whitney Houston. So he comes from like this long line of incredible R&B, you know, gospel singers. So we realized, you know, Damon is really talented and really well connected, but he already had this beautiful song that he'd written. And so, you know, myself and Jesse and Jonathan, you know, we adjusted the lyrics a little bit so they really fit with Emma's character, but we were just really fortunate to be working with Damon.
Yeah, and that's that's such a sweet highlight too. When you were singing that, Veronica, our characters have this little moment where throughout the movie, I'm sort of pushing. And it's really a lot like me in life. I'm like always kind of wanting people around me to be fully self-expressed and have a really fun time. And there was a lot of parallels there, what's happening in real life. And you know, I'd never strung a classical guitar. And Veronica had this guitar she was playing, and the guitar, it had the strings desperately needed a change about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I went to the music store and got her strings, and I videoed the guy, because it's a bit weird stringing a classical guitar, and then so he taught me how to do it. But instead of me doing it for her, I made Veronica do her own guitar, which is like, here I am challenging her to do something that I've never even done. But we figured it out, didn't we, Veronica?
Yes, and now it sounds great.
And now it probably takes a minute because there are those nylon strings, but there's such a sweet, there's these cool moments in movies that I think when the casual observer is watching, it just appears like magic. But to producers and to directors and to actors, it's like baking a cake. There's like, if you don't put enough salt in, or too much salt, things kind of get skewed and a little bit squirrely. So is there any other highlights for you, Veronica, of shooting this movie?
Well, I think that scene that we were filming that day where I was singing and performing, that was definitely a highlight, especially because it was my first time performing like music in front of people. And I'd done it before, but never this many people and never for this big a thing. So that was definitely a special moment. And that day when we were stringing the guitar, I think that was the day that we wrapped. I have this video on my Instagram that's just us stringing the guitar while Marisol is working. And I noticed that it's kind of like a parallel to the movie, where and I like having fun with the guitar, you know, learning, and she's over there like working, being the boss.
I love that. I remember that. And your mom, it was cool to have your mom on set with us as well. And your dad popped by for a day. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 13.
Mm-hmm. You, with your hair done like this, you do not look 13. I'll just have you. You look like 16 going on 18 or 19. So any highlights of working with Jonathan, our esteemed director? Because you're spoiled. I'll just have you know, not every set is that much like playfulness, and Jonathan's really great at bringing the stress down so that we get to feel free. And so what was your experience working with Jonathan?
Well, Jonathan is an amazing director, and I feel like I'm talking about you while looking to you.
There you go.
It was hi. It was a really good way to start my first movie with such an amazing director. All the directions and all the notes really helped me out. And afterward, I got, how do I say this? I learned a lot by being on set than any class could ever teach me. I learned a lot from Jonathan with all the notes, all, telling me, like, maybe we'll do this scene this way, or maybe we'll say this way. And I think it definitely made the movie, like, the movie would not be as good as it is without Jonathan.
No, that's very, very true. And hey, Jonathan, were you involved with casting Veronica, or how did that come together?
Oh yeah, yeah. Veronica was all of our favorites, and we got her.
How many people would you say, if you had to guess, would have been trying to get this role?
I can't remember. We had it pinned down to like a very small handful of good actors, which Veronica was the best of the good actors, and a lot of other great actors too. The audition process is very unnerving, as you know. So sometimes the people who are the best in the auditions aren't necessarily the best on set, and vice versa. Sometimes people are terrible at auditions and are incredible on set. And now with tape, because of COVID, with taped, self-tape auditions, it's really hard to figure out who's got it and who can be that best hire. But we, Veronica looked like she could be in the family with Marisol, and was just her natural ability. The hardest part for an actor, in my opinion, is just to sound natural with regular boring dialogue. The high moments and the low moments are really maybe not easy, but it's the sign of a great actor is just the regular moments of believing, and Veronica had that.
I know she did. This is really cool. Well, Veronica, we're going to say goodbye to you because Daniela just came into the wings. Is there anything you want to say before you pop off? And you're welcome. You're welcome to hang out. I might grab you again, but you're welcome to. I'm not sure how busy. This was all very last minute, which is classic Paul Greene. But there's a bit of magic to not planning, which is kind of my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. I hope everyone enjoys the movie.
And people are going to be watching this later on YouTube and stuff. So where can people find you and continue to follow you?
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at veronica.marinistrada. I can put it in the chat or something.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. They can also go to the IMDb page, and you can find all the cast and all the movies that Jonathan has already directed, and all the ones that you're going to be in soon, Veronica. I hope we get to see you a lot more soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Did you have any scenes with Daniela? I think you did, right?
I had a couple.
Just one. I'm going to pop Daniela on with us here. Hey, everybody. This is Daniela Della Penna. How are you, sweetheart?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
We're doing great. We're all doing really great. I'm so glad it was last minute. I'm glad that Jonathan reached you. I actually sent you an email to a Hotmail account like yesterday, but I didn't. I might be in your junk folder or something.
Probably got lost in the World Wide Web somewhere.
Yeah. So what was the scene you and Veronica had together?
The one scene that we had together, or other than the end, was when I believe Veronica, I believe you were looking for like where any of the toys were. It was your first time like exploring the office and everything. And that was actually my first day on set. And I was kind of nervous meeting everyone, but it was really exciting.
And Danielle, this is your first role, right?
Yeah, I mean, I one movie I had like a one-liner, but this was my first role in any movie, which was really exciting. It was such a, I keep telling my family and my friends, like, it was such a great learning opportunity to see everything come to life behind the scenes. It was great.
It was so amazing, like that, Jonathan, you guys were able to cast two amazing, talented actresses who had never done a picture. And you guys absolutely, I'm not just saying this, you found the energy of it. It's, Daniela plays the assistant to Marisol's character, and you had that crackling, bubbly, like fast, like you were just on that thing. Now, I will say goodbye to you for now, Veronica. If I need to pop you back on, I'll grab your pin again here. So I just want to hear just a little bit about, were you naturally there, or did Jonathan help coach you to get that? So everybody watching, you'll see what I'm talking about, because Daniela, it's a very upbeat and spunky character.
I mean, like, kudos to Jonathan, because everything that I was kind of playing off of was obviously his direction, and Paul, yours as well, and Marisol's as well.
Right,
think,
right. Didn't I tell you to take the cookie? I'm like, always take the cookie. I was walking around in this one scene and I was like offering cookies and she kept saying no. And I'm like, it's improv 101, Danielle. Always say yes.
Say yes, that is true.
Always
That is true.
But I kept offering her cookies.
No, I know. But there's something in Alice that was like, maybe not yet. Maybe at the next Christmas party. We'll see.
I like that. I like that. So that's the only direction that Paul, and it wasn't direction. It was after the movie. I'm like, I was once taught by my improv teacher at Groundlings, always take the cookie.
Yep. And now I know.
I'm just playing. So Jonathan, you saw the audition tape of Daniela? Was she already there? Was there some things?
Yeah, Daniela had the funniest audition, and the role wasn't really written funny. It wasn't meant to be a comedic character, but we wanted to push the comedy on this movie, in the romantic comedy world, and she just her you either get comedy or you don't, and Daniela, her audition it was funny, and we're like, this is our person, this is our Alice.
And how many tapes do you see for this role? Like, how do you know? I know you're in 2 other movies.
Easily 20, maybe 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now in the world of COVID, back in the old days, how many people would you actually see? Like, do you get to see more tapes, or is that about the same?
About the same. People would be in the waiting rooms and come in, and I really do miss that, because it's one of the things about casting and being in the room, which you can do on Zoom as well, is throw in a line of direction back into that world of some actors are great at auditioning and aren't great on the set because they learn it in one way perfectly, but as you know, on a set we try different things. So I'll always give a complete opposite direction just to see how that performer deals with the note. And if it's the same read, you're like, okay, thank you.
Ooh, that's good for every actor watching this video,
yeah.
Even years from now on YouTube. When a director gives you a crazy out there, he's looking for something different, right?
That's right.
So how was your experience, Daniela? Did you have fun? Were you nervous? You didn't seem nervous to me. What was the experience, and what was your character's name again?
Alice,
right.
Even just the name Alice has like a lot of fun to it, because when I think Alice of Alice in Wonderland, and just like the spontaneity of that movie itself. But the actual experience of actually being on set was very, very nerve-wracking. I tried my best to keep it very calm, cool, collected. I think I was able to do that because by my last shooting day, people were very surprised that it was my first movie. And I was like, okay, professionalism was there, hopefully somewhat there. But no, again, like I keep gushing over the fact that it was such a great learning opportunity. As you were mentioning, Jonathan, there's a certain art to auditioning and being able to learn that. And I think over the past year, due to COVID, I've been able to figure out what methods work for me in terms of self-tapes. But this was a whole completely new experience that I hadn't really taken in, maybe like through commercials and music videos and such. But this was very interesting to see how all the scenes piece together, to see how the characters can come to life seconds, moments before the camera starts rolling, and then realizing, oh shoot, there's a camera adjustment we have to make. There's a prop that needs to be moved. It was really interesting to, again, just see it all come to life and see the magic of it. And Christmas is also just my favorite holiday. I'm Filipino, so one of the things that Filipinos are really prideful for is the Burr months. So September, November, October, and December are technically the months of Christmas that we celebrate. So it was absolutely so much fun to do this.
Wow, I didn't know that about Filipinos, that the Burr months were something that I've never even heard of that before.
Yep. Yeah, they go all out. I mean, my family has like a Filipino news channel, and they literally start the holiday countdown sometime in September, October, because they don't really have Halloween in the Philippines. So yeah,
Do they have Thanksgiving-ish, something like it?
not real,
Hmm.
not that I know of. Not that I know of. Yeah, so it's the Burr months is just Christmas, 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 and I feel like Christmas is just in my veins.
Yeah, I love that. So what's your next project, and how can people find you if they want to follow you? And you know, of course, our movie is going to be out this Friday the 26th at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. But what about where, if they want to find you on social, or do you have any other projects coming up right away?
Yeah, so upcoming, I actually have a TikTok/theater play coming up with Fujian Theater, written by Cody Roland, and it's called Baking Through My Lola's Recipes. Basically all about his experience about balancing the life of the pandemic and also the passing of his grandmother. And how it's been difficult and how he's been able to overcome those possibilities. So that should be coming soon, specifically on TikTok. But you can find me on Instagram at DNAIELLA. So the N and the A in my name switched around. And then on TikTok, DNAIELLA DP.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I tried to find you because I know we had briefly talked on Instagram, and I tried to find you. I couldn't find your name to invite you to this Zoom. Just real quick, what are those things behind you on the wall taped up?
I'm so glad you asked, because I love talking about these. So basically, back in theater school, a director named Rob Kempson, we did a devised project together for our third year project. And he was so keen on using just like these sheets of paper, like whole rolls of them. I have a whole one in my corner. The wall up top is my wall of gratitude, and then one for daily affirmations, my hopes and dreams, my big wins, my small wins. Another one are my worries and my goals for the rest of 2021. And it's just a nice way to keep those reminders visual and right in my face every day.
Ooh, I love that. I'm sure everybody watching is going to create some sort of version of that for themselves. I think it's so important to to have what you're creating visual, so you can be reminded. Otherwise, like, a thought is a thought, but when you see it visual, it's like a thought becomes a thing, and you can actually and I remember you and I had some talks like this on set. Like, I love that about you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on so last minute and sharing just a little bit about your experience. And I can't wait to see more of you. I'm sure Hallmark's going to just be loving you and knocking at your door, because you did such an incredible job. Really.
Thank you. It was so nice working with you and Veronica, of course, and Marisol and Jonathan and Ida. I'm so excited to see it all come together. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. Awesome, love. Okay. Well, you're welcome to stick around. I'm just going to take you off of the spotlight, and then Jonathan, we have some questions for you. So thanks.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
Thanks again, Daniela. And Oneida, any news on Anna?
Not yet. We're trying to get the writer to come join the podcast too.
This is where my last minute fails. There's in my head, I originally was just thinking Jonathan and Marisol, but then Marisol was busy, and then I was like, well, why don't I reach out to a bigger group, and let's get as many of the cast as we can. But I was golfing yesterday, like messaging everybody and kind of scrambling, which sometimes works. And if we get Anna, we'll see. It'll be magic. We'll be on here for a few more minutes, and so she can still pop on. So in the chat here, one of my favorite questions is, Jonathan, what was one thing that impressed you about working with Paul? Weird flex.
So I love everything about Paul. Total man crush here. I am not like Paul in any, Paul is very ethereal, very spiritual person, and at one with the world. I'm not that person, but I'm very attracted to those personalities, because I am, I'm somewhat of a musician, an artist and stuff like that, who's mixed up in this game. So Paul's like the purest form of that. So it's like, we always want to be around people that maybe we want to be, or we could, so that's a personal thing about Paul, but also Paul being the true artist, um, as a performer was just such a joy to work with, because he was very free. And I always say, as I start a movie, I try to provide this atmosphere for actors to be safe, and I feel every director probably says that anyway, but I truly mean it, and I think it's one of the most important parts of my job. So Paul came and was just ready to open up and try anything, and we popped in a little bit more wit and fun in there than was expected, and that was really what I loved about working with Paul the most, and Marisol as well. Marisol is very much like me. We're almost the same person, but both of you guys as performers were like just really willing to jump in and just tear it open, reveal your heart, and just lay it all out on the screen. And being an actor is one of the hardest things in the world to do, because there's so much going on behind screen, that when you guys see the magic, just being normal on camera is impossible. So it's not just remembering lines, it's trying to emote and trying to how can it relate to that person, what can they access in the back of their head to do that. So there's like a million things going on, and when you get actors like Paul and Marisol together, it's just a recipe for success, of just that mingling of feelings of truth. And it's true because you buy it, it's believable, because because of the inner workings inside of their heads are inexplicable.
Yeah, no, it's such an interesting thing. You're nailing it too. But what I love about you is you had this list of words, and I don't know if I'm blowing your cover here, but
Go.
I'll share. Yeah, can I share this?
Yeah.
We both had a list. So Jonathan had a list of like extra words. Actually, you tell us a little bit about your list, if you don't mind, if you don't mind.
I will. So one of the things that when with directing actors, sometimes I'll get the model and go, oh, I want something like this, and then I'll run in, and someone will distract me, and I'll be like, I forgot what I was going to say, or I'll run in and go, what's the word? Here's what I'm looking for. I can't think of the word. So I decided to keep a list on my phone under my notes, and it's just a bunch of adverbs and adjectives, so I can run in and just give one or two words for direction, as opposed to a long, bunch of, a paragraph, or talk for 2 minutes of what I feel this character should be doing. I'll just go in with an adjective, one word, 2 words. And when I showed Paul my little cheat list of words, he showed me his.
Yeah, I have a
great.
list of, similar idea. What's an example of a word that on your list?
Okay, let me pull it up.
For me, it's different actions to play. Like I'm trying what my character is after, like, and I might be to wake up a dreamer, or to get somebody on my side, or to put somebody in their place. Like these are things during the scene I'm doing to the other, or trying to get from the other. So I have a list that puts me on a so I'm going after one thing in the scene, and that way I don't have to worry about the lines or hitting my mark. And if all I'm doing is going after that, I can actually say the wrong words, but it doesn't matter because I'm going after so strongly. So those are my examples. What are yours?
So things like reflective, which will give a performance that's just a little bit more, will cause some of the performance to be thinking about what they're thinking about. So if you're talking about something that happened, as opposed to just, here's what the lines are, and sometimes those lines are said really well, but if you reflect on it, it gives you pause for thought, so you can so the audience can actually see what they're thinking in the eyes sometimes. And then there's like simple things like, frenetic or mischievous, or you know, or physical things like impatience or sheepishness.
And you have to be
Those
you
are
have to be
some.
careful, right, when you deliver these to the actor too, because sometimes you have to be gingerly with it so they don't feel like they're doing it wrong. And that's what you did really well, Jonathan. She was like, what about like the way you present it seems to be really important too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You can lose an actor by saying, you know what, you're over the top here. You know, bring it down.
Yeah.
That is a surefire way of an actor clamming up.
Yeah.
And, you know, because it's so personal what you do for, you know, a note like that will cause, you know, the clamshell to just shut and never open again. And so you know, sometimes if you want, if an actor is a little more exuberant, which is another way of saying over the top,
Right.
you know, you could just say, you know, make it a little bit more intimate, which could just make it a little more quiet, you know, or reflect. A lot of those things can disarm some of those things, because what you don't want to come in and say is, I don't like what you're doing, and or you're not doing it right, because there's no wrong way to do anything.
We're a sensitive bunch, us actors. Now, were you ever an actor before, Jonathan?
Grade 5 play.
Okay, all right. But you've done some assistant directing on some massive projects and with some very big weird flexes, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I think as a writer, being a writer and actor is very closely linked, from the world of creation. You know, like.
And I love your writing process. You shared with me that sometimes you'll lock yourself in and you will crank out a movie in a week. And just please tell us that process really quickly. How, actually, before you do that, I want to share one thing, and then we're going to come back to your writing process. I want to share this.
We're making a movie.
Oh,
We're making a Christmas movie.
So it's really the story of love and toys and the love of Christmas and the love of these two kids. Then they lost it.
I have to get Joe Sullivan to sign off on the merger. Who's that? He was my childhood best friend. We co-founded CJ's Toys together. This is sort of my first main role for Hallmark. I usually do kind of dark projects, and it's nice to make something joyful.
Marisol is really funny. She's got endless energy.
All's fun. It's good because I've had to play like romance with people that you don't have on-screen chemistry or chemistry at all, and we do, and so it's really fun.
It is a holiday feel-good movie, so there's a good chance they find love, but I don't want to spoil it.
Christmas CEO. All new Friday, November 26th at 6. Part of Merry Thanksgiving weekend. Only on Hallmark.
Yep. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there's Winnie the Pooh. Okay. And one of my, I did a concert while we were in Ottawa, and she made this herself, and she brought it to me for my new baby boy who's due tomorrow. And I tried to get this in the film, but there's things you can and can't do with other brands, right? Like you have to get clearance and I took pictures, and there's licensing issues when brands like Pooh, you end up being sued by Disney or something for putting a Winnie the Pooh in without permission, right? Is that right?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
Sometimes. I know I was working hard for that one. I wanted to, I'm not sure if that person who created the bear is here. I'm forgetting her name at the moment. But I have so many behind the scenes I was going to show, but it seems like I have to do a new share for everyone. So I'll just leave that. There's a really cool behind that reindeer racing games thing. I love how did that scene come together, because you created those, like you had an idea for that. In the script, it just reads, we're doing a reindeer racing game. And tell me about the creation of all that.
Right. So yeah, the script read it was just a video game at this kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese Christmas version of a Chuck E. Cheese. And I was like, okay, well, when you shoot people playing video games, they're just holding on the controllers, and then you look at the screen, and the screen has to be created, but it's not, other than, seeing this on the screen, there's not a lot of interactive fun, at least, cinematically. So I thought, you know what, those motorbike games at those arcades are pretty cool because you jump, you ride them, and you get some moves. You can go back and forth, and it's a really interactive way of playing video games. And I was like, I bet we could do that with some reindeer. Like, let's get some lawn ornaments, and let's create this thing so we can actually have you guys riding reindeer as part of the video game. So of course the video still had to be creative, but what it allowed was for way more physical interaction and fun, for all you guys to play and just really get into it, and feels more Christmas, literally riding reindeers, as opposed to, there's still a video element, but you guys are sitting on the, it's so good. I was so happy with it.
I love that scene. It's very nostalgic, where we were, Marisol's character and my character were there as kids, and we would always go to this cafe, the Christmas cafe. And so to recreate that and then to walk in, and I just remember allowing my character's mind to be like blown by what I'm seeing. And I'm like, they still have the reindeer. It was really fun to do that and to be crazy like that. So just tell us about.
Well, another thing on that one thing was, Hallmark movies. Hallmark is so great at showing maximum Christmas all the time. So we were, given the challenge of how do you make a set that's called the Christmas Cafe that's oozing Christmas when you try to ooze Christmas throughout the whole movie. So that was kind of one of the answers, as the interactive reindeer game. Sorry, okay, back to you, Paul.
Yeah, no. I love that. I love that. There's also this in my character's apartment. There's pictures of my family, so I'm always trying to get like my coach who passed away a few years ago, and my dad and my mom, and like I'm trying and so I have all these pictures. I'll share them on my social media of all these personal pictures, and I try to get my mom in just about every single movie. Every movie. I don't know if we did. I didn't see the final cut, so I'm not sure if she made it, but no,
sorry,
she didn't. Oh, mom's gonna be just so. Actually, she's
sorry.
shy. She's shy about it. It's me that asks her to be in. She's not a stage mom. So you Jonathan, write a movie sometimes in a week, and can you share that crazy experience?
So they're all different, but I think I've written like 30 or 40 screenplays, and so I have one trick which I like to share with writers, because one of the hardest things for new writers, one of the hardest things to do is to get started in your day. Well, when you work as a writer, it's part of your day. You just start, you're writing. But my trick is to finish your day in the middle of a scene. So stop yourself from finishing the scene. So the next morning when you get up, you start typing immediately and you're finishing the scene. And then the next scene comes really easily.
I love that, rather than like being complete and then you get there and you're like, oh, how do I get going again? You're like already the momentum of it.
Yeah, you could even still be half asleep and you just be like, oh yeah, here's how I was going to finish that scene.
Yeah. And did you do a lot of writing on this movie? I know Anna White wrote it. And
no,
I
did like nothing. I know Anida did a little some of the fixes, and I don't think I did it yet. Hey, we all of us together workshopped a couple of things.
Yeah.
Is that right, Anida?
Yeah.
Am I accurate?
And what people don't know is not every producer is on set all the time, but Oneida was there just about every scene, pretty much like with us, and Jesse would pop in quite a bit as well. And you did such a good job. Sometimes it's intimidating to have producers there because they're focused on what's not working. And I feel like you guys were focusing on what is working, and then we just kind of keep expanding on that. And so do you always do that, Oneida? Do you always pop on set like that way you did with us?
I love being on set as much as I can be. I mean, that's the most rewarding part of my job is working on because you're working on scripts, you're sitting, you know, at the office or in a room for so long and doing all these long Zoom meetings, but getting to be on the set and seeing everything come together and seeing the actors playing with these characters is so fun. So I like to be there as much as I can be, for sure.
No, I love that. And we had these really cool bubbles that you could go in this one location we had that I spent a lot of time in, and it's a soundproof plexiglass that you could go in and take phone calls and do Zooms. And I think I did a Zoom with one of the groups that my wife and I are part of, that we created. And those things, I wanted to get one of those and have it like in my rider, be like, every movie I need one of those on set because they're so cool. Yeah. And I think we all escaped in there once or twice. That's awesome. So no word from
here it is. Here's the pod. This is Jesse in the pod.
Oh yeah, there's Jesse. Okay, look, Jesse works with you guys on Muse, Jesse
executive producer on this project. But the pod is almost like being in an old-fashioned telephone booth. If the telephone booth was soundproof and had a little writing desk, it was great.
I love that. I loved escaping in there. It felt safe too. You could take your mask off for a moment. At least some of us could. I don't think Jonathan would be allowed ever to take his mask off. Poor Jonathan. I felt so bad because of COVID. Jonathan couldn't work out in a gym, couldn't eat inside of a restaurant, because if Jonathan goes down, the whole ship goes down. So they can replace any one of us, but not Jonathan. What a sacrifice. We had a great time in Ottawa. Paula's asking, what's your favorite restaurant in Ottawa, Jonathan?
Sanso Thai. It's the ramen restaurant on Bank Street.
Okay. I never went there. I probably wasn't eating Thai food while I was there. I was on my weird
It is life. I'll give 3 restaurants. It is life-changing ramen. And it's a chain. There's some in Toronto as well, but the one on Bank Street is the best. Corazon de Maize is the best burrito I think I've ever had. And, you know, I used to live in Los Angeles too. So,
Corazon de Maize is the heart of corn?
Corazon, is that what that translates to?
Corazon, isn't that your heart? Anybody speak Spanish here?
Maybe. Co is heart, and so maybe that's
the heart of corn. We're just gonna go with that, unless somebody.
It's amazing. It's really the sauce. The salsas are just really what make it.
And then, your third?
I went to a steakhouse a bunch of times. I think it was called Al's. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. Veronica said it is heart. Thank you, Veronica.
Okay, good. So the heart of corn. We'll have to check that out. Well, this has been really awesome to have everybody here. I don't think we're going to get Anna today, but I want to thank you, Jonathan, Oneida, Daniela, Veronica, everybody for coming on. And if Veronica, Daniela, can you guys pop on just for a second? I'm going to bring you back on. Hang on here a sec. Hang on. We're going to bring us all back on. Add spotlight. I'm being the line or the visual producer at the same time here. It's a good time. So this movie comes out in 2 days now, the day after Thanksgiving here in the US. And I want one word from each of you of what this movie is, because I'm sharing this to YouTube today, and hopefully this will go to some homes. I'm also going to share this on my podcast. What's one word about this movie what encompasses the whole movie, and then just why you think people should check this out? We'll start with you, Veronica.
Wholesome. I think it's really wholesome, sweet movie. It's a nice family movie that you can watch at any time of the year. It's really sweet.
Beautiful. And that's why people should see it, because they can watch it with the whole family.
Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Daniela?
My word is definitely magical.
Magical. Okay.
Magical. I love that word, but just like the idea of being to like be in touch with your inner child, like being able to like look at all the toys and reminisce on your childhood. I would definitely say, yeah, magical.
That's great. Look at how hard Jonathan's thinking for it. He's got, it can be more than
my cheat list.
Yeah.
It can be more than one, Jonathan. I hate to limit you to one word.
You know, classic. I think I really feel we've done a classic movie here that will be watchable for years and years and years, which all comes down to performance, story, chemistry, which you and Marisol had the greatest chemistry. And I think that alone is what will keep people. The writing is beautiful. It's just, it's all there. It's it's heartwarming. It's entertaining. It's touching. You know, you'll laugh, you'll cry. We all cried a little bit watching it. Of course, you're gonna laugh for sure. And it's such a, you know, hey, it's a little piece of me. It'll be. I think everyone's gonna really love it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. You took all my words. Touching was going to be one of my words. Adventurous, I think, because, you know, everyone's characters, and what I love about a good movie is you know, is it goes back to what we were talking about, Jonathan, too, is the Joseph Campbell. It's when every character starts at a certain place and there's a bit of a call. There's a call for them to move away from what's safe and what's comfortable, and that's the premise of any good story. And when a movie is well written, every character has their own little hero's journey. And if you watch Star Wars or the Hunger Games, there's even, you know, any of the George Lucas movies, or The Matrix follows it perfectly. The story of Christ is the hero's journey, or Buddha is the hero's journey. There's a call from home to adventure out. This is my one word. This is me with one word. So adventure, as every character goes on this. And I think that people watching this are definitely going to be touched, but they're definitely going to laugh a lot and have a lot of nostalgia around some of the toy, because there's something about toys. There's something that remind us of our childhood, which I think will make people really enjoy it. Awesome. Well, we have time for one question from a live audience. If somebody wants to come on camera and ask, we have time for one question. Otherwise, we'll say Aus Wiedersehen. And I'm going to let you go, Veronica. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Can't wait for people to see you in this picture. And you too, Daniela. Thanks for coming on so last minute.
Just from Anna that she was just on an airplane, but she might be able to join.
Really? All right. Well, we'll delay this for a second.
A couple more minutes.
Yeah, we'll wait a couple. I have another behind the scenes to show anyway.
There we go.
Jonathan, what are you working on next? What's coming?
I am going to the UK, January,
Malta?
February.
Going to Malta?
It'll be the new Malta. The UK is the new Malta.
Well, Timmy wants to meet you. Good.
There you go.
Timmy watching says, like, when are you coming to London? She actually met Michael Kiwanuka, is one of my favorite musicians. And she took a video of Michael Kiwanuka saying, "Hi, Paul." So it was really special.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
So
I'll be in London for that one. And I'm also starting to cast a big action movie. Probably start casting before Christmas, shooting in the summer, maybe if we get lucky. And hoping to also be doing a movie with Oneida maybe in the spring. Fingers crossed.
I love it.
I won't say what is, because
what about that big? There's that big one that you were telling me about that you wrote.
Oh yeah.
Tell me what's the 411 on that? Can you share?
That one we're starting to cast. We're going to start casting in December.
What is that?
So
tell me about that one.
So it's called Barracuda. It's basically a found money. A young race car driver races vintage cars, steals a car for the engine parts, and inside the car, steals a car from a junkyard. It's sitting in a junkyard. So no harm, no foul, but gets the car home and it's filled with cash and drugs. And the mob boss who had it towed there for storage comes after him. And it's a little, young adult romance action with some race cars in it.
And there's some flexing with this one. Like, isn't it for a big network or a big actors? Wasn't there was a
the guys who did the John Wick movies are producing it.
That's what it is.
So, yeah.
Yes. So it's going to be that really crackling high end action. John, you're going to be flexing in it. There's your flex. Oh, I love it. Paula in the comments thinks that Jonathan, you're just so cool. She says you're cool.
Thank you.
Jonathan's so cool. He offered me his yoga mat in the middle of COVID, and Jonathan's not a germ. Jonathan doesn't love germs. And when I first met him, I was like on a hunt for a yoga mat. And this told me a lot about Jonathan because, you know, sharing a yoga mat is really something. And I declined because I really, you know, I tend to get pretty sweaty on my yoga mats, but that was a really sweet thing. You are cool. You are cool. Well, while we wait for Anna, I'm just going to show you guys another little behind the scenes here. So I'm going to go. It is a great cause, the Build-A-Bear. I've never done something like this, Oneida, that's paired up with, you know, this is two great things with Toys for Tots as well as Build-A-Bear. How did Toys for Tots get involved with this? How did you get involved with Toys for Tots?
My understanding is that Build-A-Bear has a relationship with Toys for Tots, and so they were the ones. Build-A-Bear were the ones who came to us and said, we actually, you know, want to do an activation here, you know, and it just felt like kind of the natural, like a very natural story and a very natural fit to have a show that's about toys and bringing joy to kids, to have this partnership with a charity like Toys for Tots. So they wanted to make sure that, you know, we acknowledged them and we shared their branding in the movie so that people could understand that there's this wonderful partnership happening between these all of these different companies coming together.
Right, which can be challenging to do, which I learned with Winnie the Pooh, like getting any branding on screen to look natural and not be like, why is there a Build-A-Bear? Why is Paul walking around with a latte and a Build-A-Bear at the same time?
Yeah, it's very subtle. I mean, Build-A-Bear, you know, gave us some wonderful toys that we could, you know, kind of put interspersed throughout the movie. But it's funny because Delivered by Christmas is very much centered around a specific teddy bear, but this story is just kind of all about toys. So there wasn't one particular bear that we were following.
Yeah, well, I love that. Well, thanks so much for being here, Oneida. So I think I'm going to say farewell. Jonathan, I'm just going to bring you on, and thanks for being here, buddy. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for your questions and for being a part of this. And then also, if you're watching later on YouTube or are listening to this on my podcast, please check out Hallmark channel here and then W Network in Canada, and it's airing at 6 o'clock Eastern. And the movie's called Christmas CEO, written by Anna White, it's my fault that we didn't get her on. At the last minute, I was like, hey, Oneida, can you message Anna? And she's on an airplane. So anything else you want to add, Jonathan, before we say farewell?
No, it's so nice. It was so nice to chat with everybody. This was a lot of fun, and you know, it almost feels like hanging out.
It does, almost like virtual. But if people want to see what you're up to next, I know you're not on Instagram because I tried to tag you and wish you a happy birthday yesterday. It's Jonathan's birthday, everybody. He's 36.
37.
37. Anna just came in. We're going to bring Anna on. Hang on a second. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Anna, you're on an airplane. So Anna White is our writer. There you are. Hang on. Look at this. You can unmute, Anna, and I'm going to bring you on for a moment.
Yes.
Hi,
Paul.
How are you? You're on with Jonathan, our director, and of course, Oneida, who you're aware of, and then a group of amazing people watching in the background here.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I just got off a plane and I was like, oh, we got to hop on really quick before you go.
Yeah, you just, we're literally saying goodbye. So your timing is exquisite and impeccable.
Oh, phew.
Tell us a little bit about this journey for you with this movie and how you came on board. And there's a really funny story about you and I, which I'd love you to share.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Well, let's see, in 2019, I think, Build-A-Bear was looking for a writer for a thing for, I always get her name wrong, but the CEO of Build-A-Bear had an idea and brought on a writer. And we went through just so many different drafts and ideas of a toy CEO. And finally, 3 years later, it's Christmas CEO and it's airing Friday. And I just can't believe it because it went through so many different versions. And then, of course, when I heard that you were casting it, I was over the moon because for people who don't know, I had a weird hobby as a child where I collected LL Bean catalogs. And you were a model for those LL Bean catalogs. I would recognize your face anywhere, Paul. Like, it's because you did it for a few years, right?
I did it for almost a decade, LL Bean. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then in 10th grade, we had to do an art project where we had to pick a Christmas inspired image. So I picked one from the LL Bean Christmas catalog, and it was you. So I was like, I'm carving out of rubber stamp and ink print. So I'm really studying your face. So of course, as like the years go by, I start to see you in like, I think it was a toothpaste commercial. And then you started getting like roles on, I think it was Bitten, all these things. And I was like, oh my God, that's the guy, that's the LL Bean guy. And then when I saw you hit it big in Hallmark, I was like, oh, I hope I get to work with him one day.
And here we are. And the kismet.
And here we are.
The kismet. And Oneida ordered an LL Bean hat so I could sign it and write a little greeting to you.
Yes.
I got to tell you, and I told you this privately, but this is one of the best scripts that I've I'm not just saying it, like we get, sometimes when you first get a script, they're not in the best of shape, and then they come together, obviously, and then sometimes we have our work cut out for us. But this script was in such beautiful shape, and my wife and I were reading it out loud to one another, and halfway through it we stopped and we're like, this is really good. And I was so excited, and I messaged Randy right away from Hallmark, and I'm like, this is great.
Oh my God, that means so much to me, because so much hard work went into it, and like, all the producers and everyone and all the feedback we got really shaped it. But I put my heart in it, so that really that means a lot. And I saw a cut and it turned out great. You guys were amazing in it. The chemistry is insane.
I know.
I cannot wait.
It's so neat because you just missed Marisol was on here with us, and Veronica. Okay. I'm not sure if Daniela, Veronica, can you come on and say hi to Anna really quick? We have two of the other castmates here. I think Veronica, here we go. Yeah. So Veronica played Emma. Here we go. Add spot.
Oh.
And then we have Daniela also here, and she played Alice. And so,
yes.
So here are your stars. Here are your stars.
Oh my God. Hello.
And of course, your beautiful director, Jonathan, that helped guide the ship.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for everything. Seriously. This movie turned out so well, and it's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to all of you.
Yes. And of course,
for some reason, I can't see you guys on my screen, but I can feel your presence.
Switch to gallery, or switch to, if you swipe, are you on your phone?
Yeah, that's the problem, because I just hopped on my phone.
If you swipe one way or the other, you might be able to see.
There we go. You're
okay,
right.
Good.
You're right.
Well, I think this is a perfect spot to say goodbye and wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And of course, after Thanksgiving, the next day, check out our movie that we lovingly, some of us for years, of course, Anna and I'd have been on it, and then for a long time, for several years. And then it was such a gift to be a part of it, and I just hope everybody enjoys it. This was such an honor to work with all of you, and thanks for coming on my show today.
I'm glad I could make it.
Great. Okay, bye everybody, and everyone watching in the wings. Thank you so much. Everybody watching this later on YouTube, thank you for being a part of that. And if this is going to be on Hallmark channel in the United States, and it's W Network in Canada, and then of course other people I think end up watching it on Friendly TV. I think you can get the app and then hide your VPN if you're in like Malaysia or the UK. There's a way to do it but hopefully everybody gets to see this. And such a privilege to be a part of this. Happy Thanksgiving. I may have a baby I will have a baby the next time I speak to any of you.
Amazing. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Anna, for popping on so last minute. The magic. Talk about magic.
My plane landed, and I ran. I was like, I don't care who's hearing this. Everyone should watch Christmas CEO in this airport.
That's right. That's right. Well, and Merry Christmas as well to everybody as well. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit some reviews and some comments. And I hope to see you really soon. Until I see you next time, be kind and gentle and tender and loving to yourself and your thoughts on purpose. And enjoy yourself. And we will see you really soon on The Grass is Greener. Make sure you go over to iTunes and check my podcast there. And pop over to somavedic.com and see what they got cooking. Use my code PG20 for Black Friday up to December 1st. And then after that, PG10 for 10% off. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you real soon. Happy Thanksgiving, and also, obviously, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the show. It's on soon. And if you're catching this later, go look it up. You can probably watch on Amazon or Friendly TV or something. Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.